It's the 3 on PLAX TV.
Oh, yeah. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy PLAX back again with another episode of the 3 on PLAX TV. And on this episode, I have something that's a theory mixed with a suggestion. It's a theory if this is actually what the Indiana Fever plan on doing. It's a suggestion if they don't plan on doing this. The WNBA draft is Monday. I am recording this on Saturday morning. It's like, what is it? It's 3 o'clock in the morning right now. I should be sleeping for work, but I couldn't sleep, so I was like, I might as well get some work done for myself. And my theory / suggestion is that the Indiana Fever should attempt to recreate the South Carolina Gamecocks, the women's South Carolina Gamecocks team, as best as they can. And this is why I feel like they could be planning this, or they should do this if they aren't planning this. So the Indiana Fever of the WNBA have, in the first round of the WNBA draft, have the first pick and the 7th pick. In the second round, they have the 13th pick and the 17th pick. And in the third round, they have the 25th pick. So they have 5 picks altogether in this draft this year. Now, the South Carolina Gamecocks, next year in the NCAA tournament, they're going to really be like starting all the way over because 5 or like 6 of their seniors are leaving. So, and those seniors are Aaliyah Boston, Bria Bill, Zaya Cook, Letitia Amiri, I believe that's how you say her name, Letitia Amiri, and Victoria Saxton. So that's 5. That's 5 of their entire team. I believe they had like 13, 12 players on their team. That's 5 of their starting, and 4 of them is starters. And one of them is one of their first players off the bench leaving their team. Now, the thing that kind of connected it for me is that last year, the Indiana Fever drafted Destiny Henderson, who was the starting guard for South Carolina's national championship team in 2022. And the way it's laid out, it appears that they can make it happen because Aaliyah Boston, no matter what, is going to be the first pick. I'd be shocked if she wasn't. You know what I mean? So Aaliyah Boston is going number 1 regardless, and the Indiana Fever have the number 1 pick. Bria Bill is projected to go at number 7. And at number 7, that's the second pick that the Indiana Fever have in the WNBA draft. Also, they have pick 13 and 17 in the second round, which Letitia lands somewhere in between the like 13 to 20 range as far as draft stock goes. So she could get picked up then. Zaya Cook falls somewhere around top 10. She would be a little tough to make happen in this scenario here. But it doesn't have to be completely perfect either. You see what I'm saying? This is just the range. You see what I'm saying? Because she's in the top 10, top 15 range, which means it's not impossible for her to get picked by the Indiana Fever. Bria Bill is in the same top 10, top 15 range. Letitia is in the same top 10, top 15 range. And they have 4 of the top 17 picks in this year's draft. So it's not impossible. You know what I'm saying? It's not impossible to try to recreate what Dawn Staley achieved in South Carolina these past 3 or 4 years. Also, Destiny Henderson is already on the Indiana Fever, who was the starting guard that won a championship with South Carolina. So it kind of seems like this may be the move for him. And if it's not the move, it should be. Because South Carolina, they only won 1 championship But they have been dominant the entire 3-4 years that this team has been together. You see what I'm saying? They did only win one championship, and I understand that. But out of the 4 years that Leah Boston, Bria Bill, Zia Cook, this Destiny Henderson as well, this crew has been together, what have they lost? 4 games? 4 or 5 games? I believe they won like 150 or 160 games straight or something like that before a loss. That's insanity, man. That's insanity. They truly are, or truly were, the college basketball, the women's college basketball version of the San Antonio Spurs. Obviously not the current Spurs. I mean the Spurs with Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and Ginobili and all those guys. And I feel like it's not crazy to try to match that in the WNBA. Obviously, it's going to take time. It's not going to be immediate. But the Indiana Fever, they in rebuild mode anyway. They've been in rebuild mode for a few years now. You see what I mean? So it's kind of like it's more of a why not try this type of thing, to me, at least. This is how I look at it. This is how I look at it as far as like if they were able to execute this. Like say, obviously Aaliyah Boston's going first. Somehow nobody picks Bria Bill and you get her at 7. Zia Cook hoping that she slips and you get her at 13. And Letitia somehow slips and you get her at 17. This is all like based on the possibility. I doubt Zia Cook slips to 13. I doubt Letitia slips to 17. Just in case, though. Just in case. Let's just say that they do. And you are able to get Victoria Saxton somewhere late, either the late second round or the beginning of the third round. Let's say that happens. This is how I got it set up. You would have Destiny Henderson, who's already there, who's already played a season in the WNBA, and Zia Cook at the 1 and 2. It doesn't really matter to me who's the 1 or who's the 2 in that situation. They both are versatile guards. They both could play both. I maybe have Destiny play the 1 because she's been in the league for a year already, and Zia will have to go through that, that learning curve. But they both young guards. They both versatile. They both great defenders. It doesn't really matter. Then I would have Bria Bill at the 3. She's a 2, but she's such an elite on-ball defender and just wing defender. I think it would be fine to have her at the 3 because, 1, she's improved in her three-point shooting, and 2, she's lanky. She really plays hard on defense, so I think it would be fine to have her at the 3. And in South Carolina, they had different guards and stuff like that. They switched positions a lot. They played, I wouldn't want to say small, but at sometimes it did look a little small out there because they would have Zia and Destiny and Bria all out there at once. So it's not like Bria doesn't know how to play the 3. You see what I'm saying? At the 4, I would have Aaliyah Boston. Obviously, playing through her, she would become the best player on the team at that point. And we'd be playing through her like they did in South Carolina a lot of times. And Letitia at the 5. And then have Saxton coming off the bench like she did at South Carolina. And I understand how crazy that sounds because no one has ever done something like that, trying to recreate, a college team in the league, in the professional league. But like I said kind of in the beginning, why not though? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not just try it? It's been proven to work at some level. These players have played together, so they know each other. So you wouldn't necessarily have those growing pains of trying to figure each other out. Obviously, the other players that's on the team might have to figure it out, but it will become them figuring out South Carolina. You see what I'm saying? It will be the bench people figuring out the South Carolina, how they do things, not the other way around. The only growing pains you will run into is just the being young players, just being rookies. But even that, you could fill your bench up with vets. You know what I'm saying? People, older players that know what they're doing, that's been around the block for a while. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing that I see here, obviously, it won't be too impactful like immediately, but in 3 to 5 years, this is a championship team. You know how I know that? Because they did it. Because they did it before. And in 2 to 3 years of being together, they were a dominant championship team. Not even 2 years. After 2 years of being together, they were a dominant championship team. The 5 players that I just named, it's 6, but the 5 players that I just named are elite level sorry, because we don't know how it translates to the WNBA, but I'm assuming that their skills will translate to the WNBA. So assuming that their skills translate well in the WNBA, all of these players, Bria Bill, Zaya Cook, Aaliyah Boston, Letitia, I'm not going to say her last name because I feel like I'm saying it wrong. They are elite level defenders at their position. 1. They're solid offensive players. They're not the greatest offensive players. Aaliyah is a little bit better. Bria has worked on her jump shot, and Zaya Cook is a good offensive player. But like, they're not the most dominant offensive players I've ever seen. But they won in South Carolina by playing together, by playing team basketball, and I feel like you can implement that in the WNBA. Also, like, the league is changing. Like, Diana Taurasi, she re-signed to play another year, but like, she's on her way out. Stewie and Elena Deladon and Brittany Griner, all these players are getting older. You know what I'm saying? Like, they not saying they're gonna be out the league no time soon, but the league is changing. And I feel like in 3 to 5 years, with this team growing together, even though they've already been kind of growing together in college, if you put them together this way, you could have a dominant team for a very long time. And I know this is kind of crazy. I know nothing like this has ever happened, but the Fever are in position to execute it. And I feel like if you're in position to execute it, why not just try it? Because I don't think, first of all, you don't go wrong with Aaliyah Boston first. She's going number 1 no matter who had the first pick. You know what I'm saying? She's a generational talent in the sense that, like, she's a Tim Duncan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to go get her because she's just so fundamental. She's a great defender. She's a great leader. You need her on your team regardless. Bria Bill, again, like I said, she's not the greatest offensive player, but she has progressively improved every single year that she was at South Carolina, and I believe she played at another school for a little bit, but every single year she improved. She was a decent defender, and then she became an elite defender. She couldn't shoot at all, and then she became a consistent three-point shooter. If you leave her open, she's going to knock it down. Zaya Cook has been a consummate leader, a great defender, has improved her offense progressively to the point where she's scary. Like, I'm not just gonna let Zaya Cook go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna just let her do her thing. Yes, in the Final Four, Caitlin Clark kind of disrespected her a little bit, but you know what? That comes with growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bet if she in a situation like that again, I bet she shoots. I bet she shoots then. She had to learn from that. That was a learning experience. She's still young. She's still like, what, in her early 20s, probably not even. So I take that with a grain of salt because she's shown that she has that dog in her more times than not. And she just had a bad game. And then she didn't even have a bad game because she scored 28 points in that game. So, like, a lot of people, like, try to dog her out and say, oh, Caitlin was kind of, fronting on her and made her look scared. But she got 28 points in that game. Maybe, and Bria Bill isn't, like, she wasn't shooting a lot, but that's not her game. You know what I'm saying? Bria Bill, that's not her game to take 20 shots in a game. Like, if it calls for it, I'm sure she will. But that's not what Dawn Staley wanted, and that's not her game in that team dynamic. So I feel like that's why, they ended up losing to Caitlin in Iowa. But regardless of that, they lost one game. They were 30-1. And if they would have just, I guess, maybe been more aggressive offensively in the Iowa game, I think they win the national championship. I still think that. They just weren't aggressive enough. But again, all of that comes with growing. And if you put them on a team together in the WNBA, they're going to continue to grow together. And the WNBA ain't like the NBA. People don't leave after 3 years just like that. Not saying it don't happen, but WNBA teams try to like grow a little bit more than NBA teams will. You know what I mean? So I feel like we have a chance to see what I guess, envisioned, so to speak. But yeah, like I was saying, with these players, you're getting elite level defenders. You're getting smart players. You're getting possibly Spurs-esque offense, because they've done that before. So you would just have to implement that, which is nothing wrong with Spurs-esque offense. It works. Greg Popovich has proved that it works. And you're getting a group of girls who have played together before. So you're not really building too much team chemistry, because it's really already there. If you got 5 to 6 players that's already played together, you're not building too much team chemistry. The only thing you got to build is their confidence, I guess. As far as because they're obviously in the pro league now, it's not college, so they got to like adjust to that. But once they adjust to that, it's it's really up to them to take it. You know what I mean? Also, possibly, I don't know who the Fever's coach is right now. Possibly looking into a new coach that could mimic what Dawn Staley does. I don't think Dawn Staley would leave South Carolina. Yeah, I don't necessarily think she would leave South Carolina. If she's willing to, definitely get her. But I don't think she would, not right now at least. So you would have to try to find somebody that could mimic what Dawn Staley has done. And then you just go from there. And I would bet money that if you did this, Indiana Fever, in 3 to 5 years, you'd be a championship team. I believe that. I believe in 3 to 5 years, you would at least have a championship with building with these ladies here who've already played together, who already really care about defense and really care about team basketball and are smart as far as the game goes. I think you would be a championship team if you made that move. I know this is kind of like a reach in a way. I just kind of noticed it looking over the mock drafts. I was originally gonna do a video just about the draft in general and just all the players and how they fit into teams and stuff like that. But as I was going over it, I just noticed this, and I was like, this would be really cool to see if this is what Indiana wanted to do. Obviously, again, the draft is for y'all. The draft is tomorrow. For me, the draft is 2 days from now on Monday. But I don't know. I just think it's something to look into. Because Dawn Staley created a wonderful organization from basically nothing, because nobody knew about South Carolina until Dawn Staley got there, and molded it into what she wanted it to be. And they became one of the most dominant women's teams in college basketball history, and I think that's worth looking into. But I kind of rambled a little bit here. It is kind of late, but I hope you guys kind of got the gist of what I was talking about. I hope I wasn't like completely off the rails. But yeah, it's just a thought. I had. I know something like this is a little crazy, but again, if you're already a rebuilding team and you're trying to, create an identity and stuff like that, why not put together one of the most dominant college teams and bring them to the WNBA? You already have Destiny Henderson, so you obviously like what South Carolina has to offer. You're going to pick Aaliyah Boston first anyway. You're probably going to get Bria Bill at 7 anyway. So why not just go all the way with it? You see what I'm saying? Because that would be 3 South Carolina Gamecocks on your team. Just go all the way with it. and then try to talk Dawn Staley into coming. That's probably not going to happen. So try to find somebody that's like her in a way, and y'all going to have it. That's, in my opinion, y'all going to have it. But this has been another episode of The 3 on PLAXtv. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed my theory. Let me know what you think of my theory in the comments down below. Is there any holes in it? Obviously, there's holes in it, but what do you think? Do you think the Fever will actually do this? Am I stupid for what I've been like pushing? Let me know what you think. Let me know if you seeing this on Monday or Tuesday or some day in the future. Let me know if I was wrong and they didn't do any of this. But without further ado, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ding that notification bell so you know every time I drop a video. And most of all, YouTube, I love you guys. Peace.
It's the 3 on PLAXtv.